And we're coming to you live from the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are on the free Odyssey app. Good Thursday morning. The Mets follow up their really fun win and comeback win against the Cubs with another dud. Luckily, the Reds lose, the Diamondbacks lose, so you can look at it like a missed opportunity to gain a game. You could say, hey, Jonah Tong didn't have it. It was a dud, and they're still in the same position. That's the way I will choose to look at it. But this team's it just feels like they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm still hoping they get there and something clicks. But, man, it is a rough watch when the pitching is the way the pitching is or the pitching was last night. And what a satisfying season the Yankees and their fans are having. I was thinking about this yesterday. Could you have a more satisfying season than what's going on? Now, they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But think about what's happening. Not only are they having a much better season than the Mets after the Juan Soto thing, Aaron Judge is still doing historic stuff, and now they're creeping up on the a-hole Blue Jays to take the division.
They're right there, man. They are right there.
Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, and really disappointing. You know, it's Jonah Tong looks like he should be pitching in Little League.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so young, and I feel bad for him when he goes through this. He shouldn't even be here, and the only reason he is here is because the guys who made all the money aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you get a good performance out of him and then a bad performance out of him, I think it's to be expected. And, watching it on ESPN last night, David Cohn just kept talking about he couldn't get this curveball over, didn't have his third pitch. And, and obviously he's a young kid going through it. There's no way in any way, shape, or form going to criticize him or anybody else other than the reason he's here. And the reasons he's here is because the other guys that were supposed to be doing this, basically have hit the wall. So, it's just one of those things where it's really unfortunate that this kid is up here when he doesn't belong up here just yet. He's given him some moments, and he's had some rough moments. And that's what I would fully expect from a young pitcher like this. So I'm not going to get all down on him, and I'm not going to get down on the team because, the team, obviously, as you said, kept their lead. The other teams are faltering as well. But, it's just disheartening that, you're in the third inning and the game is essentially over.
Yeah, and I was hoping because Al gave us a Jackson Dart song, I was hoping if Jonah Tong pitched well that we would get Tong to Tong 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 this morning with the Thong song. I was really hoping that would happen. And, of course, we're not going to get it because Jonah Tong was terrible. And, yes, you couldn't have said it better. He shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
But he is, and he's pitching in some of the most important games. They gave you a really good start last time, but, 3 out of the last 4 have been bad. And so here we go. And then you got to throw Manaea and Holmes in there, and then Holmes has got this brain fart with Pete Crow Armstrong coming in from second on a wild pitch, and he doesn't even cover. It's just the sloppiness, the bad pitching. You just go from – and even the win that they had the previous night, there was sloppiness and bad pitching in that too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that the offense exploded. And, you think about Taylor's throw from center field, and they got out of the first inning, and you're thinking, okay, everybody can take a sigh of relief, a breath of fresh air, and just all right, we got out of that. Let's see what we can do now. And they never really did anything offensively. But, yeah, it is really going to be interesting if they can make it, and if they can make it, whether or not they have the pitching to go with it. The one thing I will say is that even though if they make it, they end up playing the Dodgers' starting rotation has been solidified. It is solidified. It's done. But their bullpen has been a disaster. Their bullpen last year was really good and really important to them winning the World Series.
Yeah.
And both the Yankees and the Mets remember that. Mm-hmm. Their bullpen has been horrendous this year. So there's nothing to say that if they can make it, that they can't beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers aren't what they were last year. They're a little bit off this year, and you just got to hope that somehow, some way, with these important games being played, that they're going to get starting pitching that's going to be a hell of a lot better than it was last night. So, it's just one of those things you flush down the toilet. You still got the lead, and now you got to come back and you got to try to win, tonight, and you got to be able to, just go down to Miami. I can't even believe I'm saying this. Go down to Miami and sweep them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to Sunday, and Sunday's going to be a crazy day.
All those games start at 3 o'clock on Sunday, by the way.
It's going to be a crazy day. You're going to have Jackson Dart's first ever NFL start. You're going to have the Mets season on the line, most likely. You're going to have the Yankees and the Blue Jays fighting for the division. You're going to have the third day of the Ryder Cup on Long Island at Bethpage Black. I mean, it is going to be a nutso sports day around here. And, I mean, we could come in with pure euphoria. We could have a Yankees AL East title, a Mets in the postseason. Jackson Dart is the NFC Rookie of the Week, and the USA wins the Ryder Cup. Or we could have it all be the opposite of that. So that's going to be as big of a sports day as had around here in a while.
I would say so. And by the way, they smart moving up the opening ceremonies to yesterday for the Ryder Cup. It looked great on the Golf Channel, and it sounded great. And they obviously had Jimmy Roberts did a piece around the sports fan in New York and what they're expecting from the sports fan, what we're expecting, because we were a part of that yesterday.
Yep.
And just watching the overall kind of like pomp and circumstance that goes along with this thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking that like the PGA has probably told the captains, the players, come on, we got to stoke the fire here. I feel like it's being artificially stoked. It doesn't have to be.
Really?
Yeah, in a way, yeah, I do. I feel like they're trying to make it. So I'm just going to compare it to one other thing that we had just lived through, and that was the Four Nations hockey. And nobody really had to say anything. They just had to show up and let their play do the talking. And you could see at what level the players were playing for because they were playing with their flags on their chest. So I don't necessarily know, and I know that Keegan Bradley has tried to build this team the way he's building it through the patriotic eyes that he has and that he's trying to impart on his team about how important this is and what it means for the golfing community and what it means for us here in New York and what it means for us as Americans. I buy all of that. That's what he should be doing. But some of it seems a little bit too push to me. I don't know why. I
don't feel that way at all. I do feel like these two teams really, really want to win badly. And there's some bad blood between a couple of guys, Rory and Bryson, but I mean, not a lot of it. But they absolutely are into this and want to win and are. And it's not a manufactured thing through my eyes, at least.
When they introduced, when Keegan introduced Bryson DeChambeau yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought I was looking at like the middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears.
This is going to be,
and he was like intense, and he just stood up, and he's got a body of a football player.
He's going to be Captain America in this thing, man. He's just going to be the muscles and the patriotism and everything. And when he comes out of that tunnel to go out and play, I don't
know, man. I kind of felt like I saw a cross between Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, I see that.
And Mike Singletary and Dick Butkus, and like he stood up and he's got the neck going on. He's just no smile, no nothing. Just
great,
total intensity. Now that I felt like it was real.
Yeah, and it's great to have him back on the team. So yeah, that Sunday is going to be nuts. And at this point, I feel like the Yankees are going to win the division too. Like they're going to have another champagne celebration. It just feels like that. And George Springer, by the way,
well, dude, their schedule lends it to be that way.
Of course, yeah. I mean, because the Yankees actually beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yes.
And smack around these bad teams because they've got their crap together. You hear what George Springer said, that he thinks that the MLB is fixing the games for the Yankees to win the division.
Yeah, because go against them. Yeah.
I mean, what sour grapes? I mean, that is now. I understand these are bad calls, but I mean, to think that Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred and whoever else is conspiring with the umpires to screw the Blue Jays out of the division lead. I mean, you had every opportunity in the world to win this division on your own, and now it's gotten close like this. You got to take responsibility yourself. So, like, that attitude, to me, means that they're cooked and the Yankees are going to win the AL East.
Well, it sounds that way, and especially with the way that Aaron Judge is, waking up now and doing things that are remarkable again, and he is the ultimate needle mover in Major League Baseball, and last night he did it again. And, look, I'm just telling you, we talked about this 2 months ago, their final 12 games of the season. So they're playing all these teams that, Toronto has already played. And maybe that's one of the reasons why Toronto, I don't know what the record is, between them, the White Sox, and the Orioles, like it is against the Yankees. But the Yankees are catching these teams, at the end of the season. We were talking about this yesterday. They really have nothing to play for. The Yankees have everything to play for, and they're playing at home. And, the fan base is rabid. The fan base is now into it. You don't hear anybody complaining about, Aaron Boone right now or Brian Cashman. They're winning. Aaron Judge has got an OPS that last night, Paul O'Neill said, can't even fit in the box.
Yeah.
It's so he's so awesome of a player. So, yeah, I mean, like, you're a Yankee fan. I guess you bitch and complain in July and August, and then September and October come rolling around, and here we go. And then the question is, are they good enough to go all the way? And I would say, yes, they are good enough to go all the way because they do have a balanced lineup. And the only thing about them is that when they play in these games that mean something, they have to tighten up their defense. That's their big thing. They have to tighten up the way that and I think for the last couple of weeks, we haven't heard much about that.
No, and that was a major sticking point with the fan base, and rightfully so, coming out of the World Series with the sloppiness and then the way that it was going during this regular season. But, yeah, I mean, you feel really good about them. And also they got Max Fried pitching like an absolute beast right now. I mean, he is a legitimate ace. And I know we've said this probably too much this year, but imagine if you had the healthy Garrett Cole and Max Fried. That would be an incredible tandem. You don't have it, but you got Max Fried pitching his ass off. This is back-to-back starts, dominant. I know that we don't care so much about wins anymore in the baseball pantheon of statistics. But 19 wins for Max Fried.
Well, that means he's giving you how many quality starts. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
I mean, quality starts mean everything in today's baseball.
Going deep into games.
Right.
He's getting these wins. The team is winning when he's on the mound.
By the way, who signed him?
Brian Cashman.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. He did. And that
Who
was part
signed
of the
Cody
pivot.
Bellinger?
That was Brian Cashman. Part of the pivot. Part of the Juan Soto pivot. The plan B.
I mean, you want to sit here and tell me that Goldschmidt he's been okay. He's been a solid first baseman. He's been professional. They always seem to have a professional over there at first base, and they've had for a long time. I'm not saying that they've had Chris Chambliss hitting home runs, but, from Mark Teixeira to, you went Anthony Rizzo to this guy. I mean, they've always had somebody there that has been a legitimately solid defensive first baseman.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So Brian Cashman, no, he doesn't. He does not suck. He actually knows what the hell he's doing. I mean, the guys that he added, Caballero, how about him? How about what he's done?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we talked a lot about
how about the fact that Ben Rice, plays catcher, plays first base, plays DH, does a little bit of everything. And look at the year that he's had.
Yeah, I mean, and this is something that we were concerned about a couple months ago. It's like, he's playing out of position. What do you do with him? I mean, now he's just doing everything well. So yeah, I mean, they are riding high right now. This is the definition, and regardless of who they're playing, but still, this is the definition of being hot at the right time and finding yourself at the right time. And if we said it once, we said it 10 million times. If Aaron Judge is regular season Aaron Judge in the postseason, they are going to be hard to beat. We just haven't seen enough of that. And he goes over 50 homers again. He's one of 4 players in the history of Major League Baseball to have done that in 4 straight seasons, which is absolutely wild.
But expected, by the way. Not wild, expected. That's what he's expected to do. He's expected to live up to his $360 million contract.
That is a small, that is an elite group right there.
But again, expected. Needle moving, expected. Best player in baseball. That's exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing and what they're paying him to do.
And I said 4 straight seasons, not 4 straight seasons, 4 times in his career going over 50 home runs. Obviously had the year where he busted his foot in L.A. and didn't play a bunch of games. But yeah, it is a great, and this is satisfying. I can't eat all the crap that the Yankee fan took from the Met fan in the offseason, and we're big brother, and we're going to sign all your guys, and now you're not the big game in town, and Steve Cohen's the richest owner in baseball, and we stole Juan Soto, and you had to go to Plan B and sign all these guys, and just look where these teams are right now. Just look at it. I mean, it is.
Well, one's hanging on by a thread, but hanging on by a thread for sure. But the interesting thing is, can they turn it on if they make it? That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. Can they turn it on? If they make it?
You can't say no definitively because It's just it's so wacky and things don't make sense. But I mean, their pitching and their situation with the starters is so
Tenuous.
mangled right
So
now.
tenuous.
I mean, tenuous, I think, is being too kind. I mean, they stink. I mean, there's so many problems with their rotation. I mean, you get this piggyback thing that they have going on. Those two guys have to pitch. I mean, Jonah Tong, obviously, another rough one. I mean, outside of McLean and Sproat, David Peterson's done. Kodai Senga, you're not going to see. It's just they don't. There's not enough there to piece together a semblance of a rotation and go deep into the postseason.
Yeah, if pitching is 80% of the game and it's everything, the Mets certainly don't have that part of it. That's, they could have all the offense they want, and they can have a deep bullpen, but if they don't have starting pitching and they end up having these 4 or 5 run deficits by the third inning, I mean, it's exhausting.
It is. It is very exhausting, and it's also exhausting when these games start after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And then you're watching them get smacked around and annoyed and everything else. But who knows?
You know what Aaron Judge is doing? Aaron Judge is doing exactly what Jalen Brunson has done. He's living up to the expectations that the fans have for him. Now, obviously, and you pointed it out already, he's got to do it in the playoffs, and I'm right there with you guys and everybody else. I'd like to see him have a great playoff run just to get that kind of reputation off of his back. But you cannot tell me that what he has done since he has arrived here in the Bronx isn't just something amazing to watch every single night when he's out there. You just can't tell me that. I mean, and that's exactly what Jalen Brunson has done for the Knicks.
Yes, and if either one of those guys deliver a championship to their teams, they will be immortals in this town.
And I think about all the athletes that we have in this city right now. Now, Juan Soto's had a great individual season, and he's probably, I would say, a top 5 athlete in the city right now with his performance and what he has done this year. But guys that really do stand out for whatever reason seem to be like Jalen Brunson, jumps off the page. Aaron Judge jumps off the page. Who else?
Are you doing a King of New York segment right now?
I'm not doing a King of New York. I'm just saying,
King of New York.
There are athletes here that do live up to the expectations that the fans have for them and live up to their salaries. And some of them outplay their salaries. I could sit here and tell you that Jalen Brunson has outplayed his salary.
Indeed. Took less money. And hopefully there isn't some sort of Fugazi back channel payments that Pablo Torre finds out about. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Just getting started on this Thursday morning. Jerry joins us with his first update of the morning.